Advice number 2 for people that are interested in wood turning or are an absolute beginner. Not for seasoned professionals, you're going to do things completely different. Tip number 2, equipment. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I'm just going to give you some thoughts to think about when you're going through the thought process to buy your equipment. At the last thing I'll do is I'll tell you what I bought, and there'll be a link to a video on my thought process when I bought that piece of equipment. So, first step of equipment, deciding what equipment. Is this going to be a business or is it going to be a hobby? Those are two completely different price points, and that's a completely different set of quality equipment that you're looking for. Okay? And when you're deciding if it's a business or a hobby, you're going to have to set parameters. Okay? You're going to have to set a budget that matches those parameters. Are you going to be turning pens and wine stoppers and stuff like that? Are you going to be turning bowls? If so, what size bowls? Are you going to be turning spindles? Okay, those are 3 distinct pieces of equipment. Now, if you go out and buy something that you can turn spindles on, you can turn bowls on it, and you can turn pens on it. But if you buy a pen turning machine, you're not doing spindles. Okay, so think about it. What do you really want to do? If you want to, if you're not sure, get something in the middle, and you can go from there. On a mid-sized machine, you could turn pens, you can turn bottle stoppers, you could turn bowls. And let's say you want to do a spindle every now and then, but why get a massive spindle machine? A lot of mid-sized machines, like this one included, you can put an adapter on the end of it, which will kick it out, and you could actually turn longer pieces on a mid-sized machine. Now, the big question. So you've decided this is what I want to do. This is the size of equipment I need. What type of tools do I need? Now, this gets into old school, new school. I'm not going to argue for either one. There's 2 types. There's tool steel and there's carbide. I use carbide. And the reason I do, I'm not a professional. It's not a business. I get in, I play with it, I set it up, I turn a few things on it, and then I put the stuff away. With tool steel, you got to sharpen it. So whatever your budget is for your machine, double it, and then that's what you're going to need for tool steel and sharpening equipment. Can you do it cheaper? Sure, but we're just talking budgetary reasons now. If you're just going to set up a budget. And let's face it, if you tell your partner, your life partner or your spouse, whoever, that you're going to go out and spend $1,500 and get set up for wood turning, and you go out and spend $2,500, that's going to be a different conversation than if you said, hey, I'm going to get into wood turning, I'm going to go spend $3,000, and you only spend $2,500. So keep that in mind. Tool steel, you got to sharpen it. Carbide, you don't have to sharpen it. Now, you can sharpen carbide, and I do sharpen my carbide, but it's the whole setup's, $15, $20. And it takes just a few minutes to go through, touch up your carbides, and you're turning again. With tool steel, it's a completely different skill set. Not saying it's bad. It's just a different set of money and time. So anyway, keep that in mind. Now, what did I do? I already told you I use carbide. That works for me. As for my lathe, I bought a Delta. Okay, I'm not going to give you all the reasons why. There's a link in a description down below if you want to go look at it. You can see me taking it out, some of the trials I had getting it set up. Then I did a follow-on. I decided 6 months or 8 months later if I would buy Delta again. That's a whole nother video. So anyway, I hope this tip was helpful, and I've got 3 more coming up, and well, I've lost my sheet of paper, so I have no idea what they are. But anyway, I'll put a link at the end of the video, which will be a playlist for all 5 tips. Okay? Thanks for watching.